Welcome to another episode of Last Week's Comics Today. Now, I'm not usually one to go naming names. However, somebody within the last 15 minutes got a little dirty with spray paint. That's all I'm going to say. Somebody. So, to start, we're going to go with Battle Chasers issue 10. This is, I believe, the first issue in 22 years, which is a bit crazy. Now, if you weren't reading 20 years ago, there is a cast description here. There's a story so far recap, and it is clearly not drawn by Joe Mad. He is, however, still writing the story. I think this is based on stuff that he had written years ago, but anyway. In preparation for reading this, I went and read this. This is the first 9 issues plus some extra material. So I'm caught up to date. And this picks up exactly where the previous 9 issues left off. It's a continuation of the story from 20 plus years ago. But it's well done. The art is different. There's still a bunch of energy to it. I think the lines are thinner, I'll say. I mean, it's definitely a style change, but it's not bad. I mean, this guy can certainly draw. He doesn't draw boobs quite as large, which I'm going to say is a benefit, actually. But it's good. It's almost cover-to-cover comic. There's no ads. However, there's a couple of pinups here at the back. There's no letters column, I guess. That would be a little bit weird, replying to letters from 20 years ago. And this image is recycled. But it's good. And I've already written an email asking for Battle Chasers to be added to my pull list. There's at least through issue 12 solicited. I don't remember how long this is supposed to go. But I'm in for the duration, I guess. Next up is Immortal Sergeant issue 6. It is a 9-issue series, so we are 2/3 of the way through by the end of this. And I will say this, because I'm generally pretty vague about things as I'm describing them. The Immortal Sergeant, the titular sergeant, is a retiring cop. He's supposed to be retired, I think, by now? There's a comment about that in this issue. What happens is he's out with his son. His son is in town for a birthday party, his own birthday party, and he doesn't really want to be there. He avoids both of his parents, but he's out drinking with his father. His father runs into a person of interest from a case from 30 plus years ago. They wind up on a road trip, an unintentional road trip, and a lot of very funny, very heavy drama ensues until we get to this issue here where a literal fist fight breaks out between father and son. It's spectacular. By the end of this, they're in neighboring jail cells, and it's just great. I love every second of it. I've been praising this every issue that it comes out, and this is no exception. It's a phenomenal read. The story's amazing, the art is spectacular, and I love it. Up next we have Queen of Swords #1. This is an ongoing. It doesn't say ongoing, but that's how it's solicited. It's spinning out of Barbaric, which is what it says there. So these 3 characters were all in Barbaric previously. I mentioned in the last issue of Hell to Pay, the previous miniseries that just ended. The cast splits off in 2 directions. This is one half of that cast. The other half, I guess, is going to continue in Barbaric miniseries while this is an ongoing. It's a little bit confusing. It's a little weird. Same writer. It's fantastic. It's all good. It's all recommended. After this, I have a better grasp on who the characters are, because it's been told over multiple miniseries over the last, say, year and a half. I don't remember specifically how long, but there have been, in a short period of time, a bunch of characters introduced, and I've commented previously that I had a little bit of a hard time keeping track of remembering who was in a one-shot and who was previously in like, by the end of this, I have a firm grasp. I would still like to reread all of Barbaric just to firm that up. But this is great. It is not the usual Barbaric artist. However, they are also great. I mean, look at this. It's awesome. The one thing is, I think this new artist, so Howell, I confirm that. Yes, Colin Howell. Gives a bit more emotion to Sarah than Gooden used to. So she looks a bit more sad than I'm used to. I thought she was always a bit more stern, more firm, but in this she mostly looks sad. There is an attempt to humanize her a bit more, to give her some backstory, and she's having none of it. And she has this newly talking sword. If you want to know why this sword is talking, check out Barbaric, which is also awesome. This is added to my pull list as well. Next up we have Void Rivals. This is issue 1, and you've probably heard of this because of the news about this being a Transformers crossover shared universe thing. It's fine. Honestly, it's just fine. These opening pages were the preview pages that were released by Image a couple of months ago when the solicits for the first issue came out, and I intended to add this to my pull list, and I didn't up until a few weeks ago, but I thought it was a good alien robot thing crash lands on a planet, and I'm like, alright, it's going to be a survivalist something, somehow. The art's amazing. The question is the story. And the story is minimal. It's very minimal for what this is. I didn't count the pages. It seems like more than the usual 20. It's fine. It doesn't hook me, and I'll get issue 2. I'll see where issue 2 goes, but this is, as far as the start of a new shared universe, it's pretty lacking. I will show you this, however, because unless you've been buried under a rock, unless you've crash landed on a planet, and you've heard about Transformers. So it's a pretty cool looking Jetfire, and there is Danny Warren Johnson. I've shown the last page twice now. Yeah, I don't think it's much of a reveal. But there is Danny Warren Johnson Transformers coming up in a couple of months. I will be getting that because Johnson is just... I love it. I love his stuff. I'm curious to see what he does with Transformers, but this is not off to a good start. In Hell We Fight, issue 1. I don't know what to make of this. So, I didn't get this. I generally like John Layman. I loved Chew, and then I was enjoying the other Chew before that disappeared. But I wasn't sure what to make of this. I bought one of those Image Plus issues, and it had not exactly a preview for this, but it had this same cast. These people are in hell. I don't know if a demon counts as a person, but whatever. So they're in hell, and in that Image Plus issue, there was an alien ship that crash landed in hell, and I'm like, aliens and demons, this is pretty cool. I'm intrigued. This, however, is it's kind of the worst caper I think I've ever read. The cast is trying to knock over an ice cream truck, and it got to the point about midway through where I'd forgotten what they were doing because it's just not that well established. It's like this line here in the beginning, and then all of this stuff happens, and then here, so at the very end, they finally get the ice cream truck, and I'm just like, what are they even doing? And this has nothing to do with aliens, and I'm like, I don't know what this is anymore. I don't know. If issue 2 comes out in a slow week, maybe I'll grab it. Otherwise, I don't know. I don't think I'm continuing with this. It's very confusing. Also, You've Been Cancelled issue 1. This either came out on the 7th or the 14th. I'm not sure which. Websites appear to list it as coming out on the 7th. My comic shop got it on the 14th. I grabbed it this week. I got it. This is a really fun read, and I wasn't sure I was going to get this either, because these opening pages were also released as previews, and I wasn't hooked, but I find the art's really intriguing. It reminds me of Namwolf and Killstrike, which I've done videos for. I can't remember the guy's name at the moment. I'll fix it in editing. But this is good. And the people that he targets in this issue, the rough story is... I was just talking to Dan about Black Mirror, too. So it's a little bit Black Mirror-ish in that... the general public votes on who needs to die, and then there's it's an industry unto itself, but there are these people that go around and kill the people that the public votes on that need killing. And if you have been paying attention to the last 10 years or so, then you probably recognize who the targets are, because they are definitely based on real people. But it's a fun concept. It's obviously been done, but I found this enjoyable, compelling, and I'm adding this to my pull list. I believe it's a 4-issue series, so I don't know. I'm along for the ride. Also, some trades came out. Well, this is a collection, and this is an original graphic novel, but Batman Beyond the White Knight just came out, and Night Fever also just came out. I won't be doing a video on this because I've talked about each of the individual issues, and I've already shot this. It should be up, I don't know, within the next month. I think 3 or 4 are already scheduled, so soon, but it's excellent and recommended, and I loved it, and it's Brubaker and Phillips, and it should be a no-brainer for anyone that is familiar with them. So that is, I think... It's not entirely true, but I'll talk about that maybe some other time. But this is almost everything that I got this week. And I'm giving Pick of the Week to Immortal Sergeant. However, honestly, all of this is good except for these two. Well, I'll say these 4 are good. These 4 are good, and these 2 are okay. But Immortal Sergeant is getting Pick of the Week. And as always... forgot where I was going there for a second. As always, I get all of my books from a local comic shop. If you don't know where yours is, you can use this URL to find the one closest to you. Thanks for watching.